finally have a one-piece shirt for me to wear while I do these videos sometimes. Had the shirt for a while. I just like to rotate through all of my shirts. Okay, so this video is going to be another one of the One Piece couples videos. So in that regards, this video is kind of like this video and then the one that'll be after it. This video is Stitches and Healing. So this is about Leo and Princess Mosheri from, of course, the Tontada Kingdom. And I know in the context of the canon, they are technically not a couple, but I just wanted to talk about them because they act very similar to a couple, particularly during the scene where we see them interact after, like, Leo saves her. So I just kind of wanted to talk about them, and I just find them so adorable. I'm like, come on, they're two little adorable fairies, and one of them is a princess who looks like Tinkerbell, who looks just like this, like, typical version of a fairy princess that is adorable, and will heal you if you're very nice to her. I just had to, I'm sorry. So, context for, of course, the couple is that they're both Tontadas. Mosheri is the princess of the Tontada Kingdom. Leo is one of their big warriors, along with Kabu and Kabu and Bain, the little hornet fairy, hornet Tontada, who's adorable, and I have a Pokemon named after her. So we have the, Leo and, of course, all the Tontada warriors and everything. And 10 years ago, at some point within the last 10 years, 500 dwarves, including Princess Mosheri, were kidnapped by the Doflamingo family and taken to work in the Smile Factory. Most of the other dwarves are put to work in the Smile Factory, whereas Mosheri is basically kept prisoner. And because the dwarves are very naive and very trusting and easily fooled, unfortunately. Hopefully that will start to change a bit, after everything that happened with Doflamingo. Hopefully that'll start to change a little bit between them. Be a little bit more cautious about who they trust. And what we see is, of course, Mosheri is kept prisoner, but they tell the other dwarves that the Don Quixote family tell the other dwarves that, oh, your princess is sick, and she's not a prisoner, but she's very, very sick, and the fruit that you're helping grow here is part of her treatment. And the more fruit you grow and the better quality it is, the quicker she'll get, better. It just takes a lot of this stuff to be able to make her medicine, type of thing. And of course, they play up play it up, of course. We see that throughout the course of the episodes where they're saving the Tontadas from the factory and everything. And with Leo, what we see is that, he's spent, the last 10 years, ever since the Don Quixote family shows up, he's been training along with him, and the rest of the Tontadas have all been training and working and, like, spying all over the country, gathering information as much as they can. And we have the great conversation when, like, Leo says about Mosheri, about, like, when Usopp is asking about the princess, because, like, Leo's like, well, our princess is there and we need to save her. But according to what the Don Quixote family told us, she's very mean and spoiled and selfish and rotten and, like, horrible things. But she's still our comrade, so we have to save her. And, like, we get the image in the background of, like Mosheri and, like, this weird hat that she doesn't actually wear. And, we get, so it's like the audience kind of gets this, like, initial concept of, oh, maybe she's not the best person in the world, but she's still their princess and they still want to save her. But then it's like, as you're watching through the whole course of the thing, it's just like, well, they keep lying to the Tontadas, so they probably lied about that too. And of course, we do find out that is a blatant lie, that Mosheri is nothing like they said. They find, when we end up interacting with her, it is after Pudding passes out, and, like, or not Pudding, after Sugar passes out from, Usopp's, disturbing face with the very extremely hot, pepper spices things that makes her freak out and faint and everything. I think it was the second time. It was like the second or the third time, or the first or second time after she passed out. But we have the moment where, Leo and Kabu are like fighting their way through the castle along with a bunch of the other Tontatas to get to Malcherie, because Viola has been able to use her, her glare powers to be able to look through the castle and find where Malcherie is. And she's like, oh, she's in the timeout room area. And so, like, Leo knows exactly where that is, so they're, like, rushing there. And Giola is there, and she is trying to make Malcherie use her powers in order to heal a bunch of the Don Quixote's subordinates. And as I've gone over in other videos, Malcherie's power is, of course, the gift of the heal fruit. So, of course, she can, cry her tears, and then it will heal people's injuries. She can also do, of course, the dandelion technique, where she like heals people's injuries up for like a certain amount of time. Heals her injuries up for like a certain amount of time, but then like the pain comes back and everything, and that's what they use, of course, to help fight off the bird cage that Doflamingo is doing. She can also use it to make the little singular dandelions that then they can give to people, and it'll heal all of their wounds. And so that's what Giola is trying to use, Malcherie to do that. But of course, Malcherie doesn't want to help, but Giola is like literally twisting her, and that's disturbing. It's like twisting her to make her cry, to make her tears fall, so that way they can heal the different members of, the Don Quixote family, the different executives and the higher ups that have been unfortunate, or that have been taken out during the battles. Dellinger and several others are there, of course. And, Leo and Kabu are like racing through, and they get there just in time to prevent any of the tears from falling on any of the major family members. And of course, we have the moment where Leo ends up, he ties, he uses his stitch fruit to like tie Giola and a bunch of the other family members together to make them all just like knock each other out again, or remain knocked out. And then, of course, we have the moment where he just, like, he catches Malcherie, and, like, the princess hold, saves her, and the princess hold. And Malcherie, it's like Leo gets this great moment, and then Malcherie's just like, oh, Leo. And then he just drops her. It's like, Leo, you were good for a second, and then you kind of blew your shot. And, Leo is very, he still, of course, thinks that Malcherie is this very selfish princess that the Don Quixote family has always told them that she is, or that she's, like, become recently, type of a thing. And, but we can, of course, can tell that this is not true. And, like, Kabu is off to the side, like, just kind of looking at them, like, oh my God, Leo is such a dunderhead in regards to, like, Malcherie just like very gently asks Leo, can you carry me? Type of a thing. I love Malcherie. She's adorable. And like, he's like, no, your legs are fine. You're not hurt or anything like that. Or just use your power to heal yourself. And she's just like, grr, and like, she's just like so, angry at him, that it's, he's just like, you can run alongside her. She's like, no, I'm not going to run. She's adorable, and I love her, and I just love this little interaction that they have. And like, given how small the Tontatas are, it's a little bit hard to like determine like how old they are. But I think it was stated that like both Malcherie and Leo were like in their 20s, so they're like, I don't remember if they're like the same age as like Sanji and Zoro, or if they're just like a little bit older than Sanji and Zoro, but they're in their 20s, if I remember correctly. And, Leo is just getting more and more annoyed with, Malcherie's like mood swings as she's just like trying to be sweet, but then like, oh my God, you're so frustrating type of moments. And like, eventually, Kabu is just like off to the side, like, oh my God, he is idiot in regards to like the way that he's acting with Moshiri, because Kabu can tell that clearly Moshiri likes Leo. And I would assume that given the fact that the Tontatas seem to not really have, like, they have their king or their chief and their princess, of course, but it doesn't seem like they have this huge hierarchy among the dwarves, because it's like so many of them going to help with fighting and everything like that. And of course, Moshiri, during the battle against Doflamingo, during the full-on birdcage fight between Luffy and Doflamingo and Law and everything, that Moshiri is of course using her healing abilities to help heal people, so that way they can help fight against the birdcage. And that's a very good, admirable thing for her to do, of course, but it also shows that she's willing to like sacrifice, because I don't remember if it like causes any pain to herself to do some of this stuff, because like at times she can use like other people's blood, like donated blood, like she does with the Marines, to help heal the people of Dressrosa. So we get those types of a thing. But one of the other things, of course, is when they're trying to escape the castle, Leo is eventually just kind of like guilted into like carrying Moshiri under her back, on his back and everything. And, she's just like, just like happy, like as she's hanging on to him as they're like, as he's like running through the castle or whatever. And I think at one point, like Kabu literally, like, I watch NCIS and there's this Gib slap where it's just like, type of thing on the back of your head, knock some sense into your own. I'm pretty sure Kabu did that to like Leo at some point, to like just pick her up and carry her, you idiot. She likes you, type of thing. And like Leo is still just like completely oblivious, and Kabu is just like, oh God, help me, during that whole conversation and everything. And Leo still thinks that this is like, he's like misinterpreting her actions as like her being, proof of her being selfless and, finickiness and everything, and just like, not a good person. But of course we know that this is not true, because we can tell very, very quickly that is not the type of person that Moshiri is. Of course, she's the exact opposite. She's not selfish, she's not finicky, she's very sweet. And even like later on when they're like trying to help Luffy and the others escape, when she was taking blood donations from the Marines to make her little flowers to help heal the people of Dressrosa that had been hurt during the fighting and everything, from Sengoku and a bunch of the other Marines that of course showed up at the island, that of course, they tell her to take just a little bit more, in regards to, the other Tontatas tell her to take just a little bit more, but she's like, but if I take too much, then it may cause paralysis, type of moment. And she's just like, they're just like, no, it's okay. And it's like, as part of their plan, of course, to help Luffy and the others escape, because then a bunch of the lower ranked Marines will be kind of like paralyzed and they can't like chase after Luffy. And that takes care of like some of the numbers that Luffy and the others would have to take care of before they escaped. Which is just funny. And we do get another moment where we have seen, Leo and Moshiri kind of together, and that was at the Reverie, when of course the Dressrosa, when Riku and his daughter, Riku and Viola and Rebecca and Kiros of course went to Reverie and everything, and they took Moshiri with them. And of course we have the moment where it's the world's biggest princess, Shirahoshi, and the world's tiniest princess, Moshiri, meeting for the first time, which is adorable. And Leo's there like keeping an eye, of course, on like Moshiri and Rebecca and Rebecca and Viola and everything. So I don't necessarily know. I know that they're not considered like a canon couple, but I just wanted to throw them in here because they're adorable. They're just so cute and adorable, and I love how she is like obviously very much have a huge amount of affection for Leo, and Leo is completely oblivious to it. And I know that a lot of people will make that comparison to like, oh, that's the way that like Hancock is with Luffy. But my main difference between why I like this couple and why I just don't care that much for like Hancock and Luffy is because Moshiri is genuinely a very sweet individual, whereas Hancock, yes, she has various reasons for why she is the way that she is, but that does not give her the like leniency that she thinks she has when it comes to I am beautiful, therefore I can do whatever I want. And she kicks small animals and is mean to anyone that she doesn't consider worthy of being around her. So there's a difference there. As Moshiri is just like almost sweet to like anyone that hasn't caused her harm. I don't blame Boa for being like angry at like the world government and the world nobles and everything like that. That I don't, the celestial dragons, I don't blame her for that. And I don't blame her for some of the issues that she has with men. But I don't like the fact that the only person, like, besides her sisters that she shows affection to is Luffy, when, like, the people in her kingdom should get some of her affection instead of just getting kicked around like she does with Gren and Neon, and the way that she does with, like, the small animals or things like that get in her way. But, with Leo and Moshiri, I know they're not canon, but they're adorable. And I do hope that maybe in the future, maybe it'll be like in like the times, like, in like the epilogue, it might be that, Oda may reveal that like at some point, like, Moshiri ascended to like the queen of the Tontatas. And, maybe her and Leo aren't married, but it's like, it's alluded to the fact that like, she had, and like her and Leo, like maybe they're not outright married, but like Leo is like her consort type of a thing. I just find that kind of funny, that like, I think that would just be adorable if, oh yeah, Leo and her, like Leo finally got the sense knocked into him that, no, you idiot. She likes you. She's not selfish. She's not finicky. She likes you. And like gets kind of that knocked into him at some point in time, and like he maybe like realizes that, oh, maybe I like her too, type of moment. And I just think that maybe that'll be something that like Oda would be able to pull that off, I'd say. That's just, that was just what I wanted to say here about Moshiri and Leo, stitches and healing, and I just find that adorable. And like we do see that their powers actually work very well together at one point when, of course, Law had, part of his arm, sliced off. Actually, both of his arms sliced off by Doflamingo in that fight. And of course, Moshiri and Leo, Leo kind of like stitches it together with his thread, because that doesn't cause pain when you're stitching someone with the thread, or it doesn't look like it causes pain or anything like that. Or maybe Leo can choose whether or not it causes pain, but, because like I can understand why because like we see him like stitch his grandma to the bookshelf to keep her safe. And like they stitched Robin to the ground, but Robin didn't seem like, because like if you're getting stitched several dozen times all the way around your body, I would assume even if you're knocked out, you're probably going to feel it at some point. That might have woken Robin up at that point in time if she felt a lot of that pain from the needle. And like, I just don't think Leo's stitches actually cause a huge amount of pain, if any pain, unless I guess Leo wants them to cause pain. Like, I could assume if they don't know if someone's an enemy, like he doesn't want to hurt them, and like definitely wouldn't want to hurt his grandmother or hurt an ally. But like, I can assume that like when he was like stitching up like Giola and the rest of the Don Quixote family that were there, I can assume that maybe he was okay with causing them some pain, type of a thing, in regards to the stitches. So that might be something he can turn off and on. But like, they stitch up Law's arm, and then Moshiri uses some of her healing power to help, heal Law's arm, heal where it was, sliced apart. And those power, their powers work rather well together in that case. Although we haven't seen Law's arm since then, like full on seen it with like without like a shirt or like a jacket on or something like that, or the kimonos that he was wearing in Wano. We don't see that, so I don't know. Maybe that'll be something that gets brought up at some point in time, of just like, does he just have like a stitch shaped scar around his arm at some point? Like, was like the healing enough from Moshiri that it, healed him enough, and like his arm is fine? Or does he like forever have to have like the stitches in his arm from Leo, and the way that they'll know if like something horrible happened with Leo is if like Law's stitches go away? Maybe. And like maybe Law and Moshiri would like maybe be able to have like, ooh, I didn't think about this. I wonder if we know that the Ape Ape no Mi was the way that Law cured his, Amber Lead syndrome. And we know that was what happened with how he cured himself of that. But I wonder if Moshiri's healing ability would have been able to cure him, from that. I mean, like her tears appear to be able to heal like physical injuries and stuff like that. Like we see them heal, like they helped heal his arm, obviously, but they also helped heal, just like minor abrasions, but also like, harder, things that were a lot more, intensive injuries, like broken arms or black eyes or, other things like that. So would her healing ability have been able to heal the Amber Lead syndrome instead of, if like they had been able to find Mosheri first, would she have been, able to heal Law as opposed to Law having to go and like find the Opionomy and like lose Coruscant? I'm pretty sure that would have happened regardless, but still. But that would be like an interesting conversation, like, because I don't remember Law and Mosheri, like beyond when like they fixed his arm, like I don't remember him having really any interaction with Mosheri. But considering that she is like this healer, that would be a very adorable thing to see if maybe Law and Mosheri would be able to have like this conversation about healing type of a thing. That would be like a fun thing to talk about, fun moment for the two of them. That would be adorable. And like the Dressrosa arc has Doflamingo's I think it's the Hito no Mi. No, it's the Ito no Mi. That is, of course, Doflamingo's string fruit, and then of course we have Leo that has the Stitch fruit, and then we have Law that has the Ape no Mi, and then of course we have Mosheri that has the Heal fruit. So it's like these little dynamics within the thing. And of course we saw like a lot of the Doflamingo family have like counterparts in like the Crocodile family and like Baroque works, different ones that have like similar abilities. This one can swim in the water, this one can swim in the ground, this one's a mole, this one, can blow things up, this one can also blow things up, this one can turn into a bunch of weapons, this one can turn their arms into blades, different things like that. So it's just like, I just find that kind of, there's a lot of that dynamic that has, of course, been pointed out over the years, in regards to those comparisons. But what we, it's like, I just find Doflamingo, that would be funny. I was like, I find Doflamingo and Mosheri to be an adorable couple. No, I find Leo and Mosheri to be an adorable couple. I just trying to remember if I nicknamed any of my Pokemon after Mosheri. I don't remember. If I did, it would have been like a Ribombee or something that I had, but I don't remember if I did or not. And at this point in time, I am working my way through Legends Arceus, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I'm going to be nicknaming a bunch of the Pokemon after Bleach characters, because I've been working my way through Bleach as well, and I'm just like, I like some of these characters. I'm going to name some Pokemon after them, and I think I've got a couple of other Pokemon that I've been nicknaming after One Piece characters as well, because it's like, well, these don't really work for a Bleach character, but it would work better for a One Piece character. And I do have a Magikarp that I caught in Pokemon Go that has like nearly perfect stats that was male, and I'm just like, well, you're going to get nicknamed Kaido. So that's what I have here. I thank you very much for watching. The next couples video will be about Pudding and Sanji. And that one will just be more like this overview of kind of the relationship that we see that happens between them during the Totland arc. Not Tontada arc, not Dressrosa arc. Totland arc. I'm tired. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your day. Bye! Among them, there is Tontada's hateful, selfish, mean, capricious, and short-tempered Princess Mosheri. 2. We must hurry.